Hi, my name is Tanya and I've been working with SPID Theatre on the Reimagining Goldfinger project. Previously I worked with SPID on the Streets in the Sky project as part of the In Transit Festival, and immediately after that I signed up to the Reimagining Goldfinger project.
Yep, so my daughter Monique, she took part in the Far Far Away project with SPID back in the summer, and we saw the leaflet for Reimagining Goldfinger, and I basically said to her, would you like to take part, which she did, and that's why she's now got involved. So she's really enjoyed it, giving up her Saturdays, and she's become project ambassador as well, so it's been really, really good for her.
Yeah, my name's Sean O'Donnell and I live in Trellick Tower for the last 20 years, and for most of that time I'm on the committee because I like the building. So how do you get access and a knowledge of the place other than working with it? And it's a home and I care about it, so that's why I'm on the committee for whatever I can do, as it were, whatever you say I am to the tower. Yeah.
That documentary, to me, that was real. It was shot real, it was real. You got living people within the tower block. And it was just amazing just to see, you know, even the graffiti area, even that area. I'm gonna, you know, my daughter, sorry, she was part of the making the film. It upset her, and basically to see that graffiti area, because when I know a lot of graffiti artists as well, but right, you know, do a lot of writing, and that's when they're at peace of mind. That gives them that you know, they're free just to do, you know what I mean, just to do what, you know, just for that little, maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, just to be free, and they want to they want to get rid of that bit. I think that's very selfish.
So my daughter has learnt about the Trellick Tales project and has been taking part, and they've done this film, and today we did the viewing of it, and I found it very moving, very interesting. It was quite informative about a building that I've seen for the best part of my life, and to learn about the community, to learn about the facilities that are around, and to hear the sadness that some of it is going to be gone. It was good to see it because of the fact that it actually catalogued a part of history, social history, and it gave me an insight on the fact of various things that you hear about. Oh, there's a graffiti place, or there's a skateboard park, but I never knew where it was, and to find out that it was here, and it was here to be used and everything else, and my daughter got a chance to learn about it and to learn about and appreciate the buildings and the major part that they play in our lives. We take it for granted. We see them as an eyesore, especially the modern ones, but they're more than just building. They're people, lives and communities, and I think the film captured that.
Yeah, SPID Theatre on their first production, I was involved with that as a voiceover, and that led to the second engagement by accident. I was down at the wall with the writers, you'll find me there 5 days a week in the evening, and the guys passed through doing this little shoot that we've just witnessed, and they asked me would I walk around to camera, and then that became vocal and that became a little interview. So I enjoyed that, and I thought, oh, maybe I won't. And I thought, well, actually I should. It's the one chance to put my feelings to camera whilst I'm in situ. It's easy to talk about it when it's gone, but to stand there and speak of it, I thought that was valid, and that's why I did this little part, and happy to do more, because there's a good intention behind all this. I love what they were seeking to do and highlight, so yeah, I'm on board.
My name is Monique and I'm project ambassador, and I was working on the project on Trellick Tower. I'm more into being in front of the camera, but I really enjoyed being behind the camera and doing all the filming, the directing. It was really fun. Really, it was just a building I've just walked past a few times on the bus, or just going home, going to school, whatever. And really doing this project's helped me realise that there's stories behind this building, and then there's actually really nice people that live here. during the summer holidays, I found a leaflet with SPID and they were doing a radio play, and I got involved with that, and it was only a week and I was kind of upset it was only a week. I wanted to do something more long term. So one of the people that work for SPID, Nella, was like, oh, do you want to be in a project with more older people, and something that I thought that was going to be a really good project to be involved in, so that's how I got involved in this.
Yeah, it's the first block was all the blocks are going to be 12 weeks, and the past 12 weeks have just flown by. From the very beginning, when we had the initial intro session and we were all meeting each other, right up until today, and we had the screening of the film, it's just gone by in the blink of an eye, but it's been incredible. When we conducted the interviews, we ended up with this goldmine of stories and anecdotes and facts about the tower that we hadn't known before, so it really was a journey of discovery. And I've really, from an artistic perspective, I've gained an appreciation for the architecture, the design behind the building, and how well thought out, how carefully planned the entire building is. And I really admire Goldfinger for that, and it's just a shame that it's only now that I've found out about the building.
It gives it a focal point here, Trellick. It's not on Goulburn Road anymore, it's not on the vans, it's not on public property. The council have an easier time, and writers like to be in the same area, not one at that end of town and one over here. This is a place they can congregate and communicate, and slowly it keeps it from the street. And this has a massive value in an urban space, because it's not cheap to remove graffiti. So if you have it collectively in a given space, that suits everyone, the council and the writer. And me as a tenant, I have a graffiti garden, which changes all the time. So I can't wait for the weekend to look over my balcony and see what's happening and who's down there. And having been involved with down at the wall for the last 4 or 5 years, the council have now moved to develop that area for 120 flats, possibly 110, 120. But where the graffiti area stroke ballpark, it's the kids' original ballpark that should be resurfaced. We're missing a big point here. That belongs to the estate as an external place. When you're living in a high-rise, you need open space downstairs. You don't have the luxury of a front or back garden or closeness to the ground, So it's very important, and it serves the whole estate. It's not just the Trellick tenants. This is about the estate, and they're adding 120 units and taking away a facility. That bothers me a lot. They depend on this local space. It really is that critical. It is their holidays, their outings, all rolled into one, and that's what's valid for the local community, as opposed to those who can come here and afford to buy into it. They can afford weekends at the cinema or a trip over there. So I intend to defend it as best I can.
They're active in the community. They've fought for years to preserve their community, and they continue to give back and ensure that it keeps on growing, keeps on thriving, and that the next generation have something to look forward to and to inherit as well.